All right, welcome to Raising Funds for World Domination, Day 99. Orthoplex 64 sends a wave. You're very loyal at being number one chatter for every stream. All right. So once again, there's no updates on this. Things are pretty consistent. Did not work on any videos. Instead, today I worked on the block mining game a bit more. I want to get to the next milestone, and but I just feel like I'm losing my mind. Just trying to get the next. I did what I thought would be just a simple way of fixing the multi-column character merging issue, but now the UI is broken. Now I'm stuck working on new test cases. Today I worked a bit on just trying to visualize them a little bit more, and I realized there's some other cases that I should actually visualize. So let's build. How's it going? Added. I started doing some consideration by 10 screen. This is the set of flags that are in the active states that are just randomly assigned. So if a given character, so that O is in the active state, but and this one here is not active. So that would mean when I merge them, it gets ignored. This one here is changed flags. So that's just a way to keep track of whether I'm indicating that the change there needs to be propagated. And I also have, for every screen layer, there's the regions. So it's just a way of, so instead of iterating over the whole screen to check all the change flags, it'll only check the ones that are within this square region. So I can just easily specify the bounds. And so that when you merge them, that would end up being, this weird figure would end up being the area that actually gets reviewed to be updated. So this is failing because I've not. Bradley says, I got a job. Does that mean you got a job somewhere? Excellent. That means you can make a whole bunch of money. You can be rich. Oh, for the date, go back to day 00 after this, or 01. Session Dev S says hi. How's it going? During the interview today, I was trying not to laugh at the other applicants in a joint call. One guy mentioned being on the grind and hustle and did this monologue for 10 minutes. Nice. Nice. So he did a 10-minute monologue about being on the grind. I guess depending on, I'm trying to imagine what that would be, but it sounds like it could be pretty cringe. Sales job. Well, something's better than nothing. Actually, that's kind of interesting. That you got well, I guess it's technically not a call center, but it's like that's exactly one of those jobs that they said is going to get replaced. That's good if you're doing sales related to like tech stuff. So you might be able to segue from there into like something something a bit more up your alley, something that's actually technical where you learn stuff, you can build a career. What are you doing now? Right now I'm working on some test cases. I'm trying to fix some performance issues and bugs in the layer merging algorithm for my terminal-based video game. I'm subscribed to your channel. Interesting. Which video did you subscribe from? Funniest part, he was trying to copy all my answers I gave during my quick questionnaire. Nice. Can you explain high level how your algorithm works for layer merging? Sure. Just give me a sec. IDK, but I subscribed a long time ago, probably from my favorite Linux command series. It might have been from either my how to make a CPU video, or maybe my my Linux videos. Okay, so currently it's in a bit of flux as it's broken. But the way it works is, so this here is actually to actually debug this and improve it, I made these visualizations. So within the screen layer, there's these four pieces of information that represent what's in the layer. So when I run the game, the entire UI is a screen layer, and when I press escape on the help menu, that square you see is that's a separate layer with some transparency on it. And so this is for testing, it's a random layer with some random text in it. And this only has single width characters, so that's where I've got the testing up to. So for every test case, it just randomly puts some characters, and the second column here is the active states. So I want to be able to have the ability to activate and deactivate a layer. So I can just recently I decided to add a per cell flag, but also there's a global flag for the layer. So this here will indicate if the layer is on or off. Actually, I should improve my testing, because there's other cases where I haven't added it to the randomization test suite to randomize whether the whole layer is active or not. Right now it's just randomly assigning active or not to the individual cells. So that one there is active, but this one here is not, because it would have been right there. These are the changed flags. So red here would mean it is changed, and the black areas are non-changed areas. And then to make it slightly more efficient, I have it set so it specifies rectangular regions that are the changed regions within the layer. So when I go to iterate over when I operate on it, I operate on a subset of the layer, given what's in the changed region, and there can be more than one change region. That's just a regular square. James Goodrich sends $10. 99 resources in the mine. 99 resources in the mine. Mine went out, crafted around. Minus 09834. JK1098. U2 resources to mine. Yep, that's exactly how the song goes. Thank you for the super chat. Apparently ISP realized they were wasting money on online advertisements, so they're hiring for more in-person sales reps and representatives and such. Yeah, I assume, honestly, that with all the like AI garbage, actual humans might be a huge improvement over like, all the garbage AI stuff. People are going to start to hate that AI stuff a lot, because I think they're rolling that out where you just have a bot that calls things. Yeah, it's not surprising that a lot of companies just run money on ads and they don't do any conversion tracking, and then later they realize, like, oh, we're just lighting money on fire. Yes, it sounds like they made a good choice. I don't know. I'm not sure what the other candidates were like, but you were given your discussions in the Discord chat, you're uniquely passionate and interested about technology. There's probably, I would imagine, most salespeople don't really care much. They're not passionate about the technology they sell. That'll help out a lot, because I'm sure, of course, customers are going to want to know about the technology. That's the worst, is talking to a sales rep that has no idea about anything. So on to the discussion of the layer merging. So that was the description I gave. That was just one layer. The actual layer merging algorithm says start at the top. So start at layer 2, travel down. So for every cell, like at 0, 0, go down to here, and just keep going down until you get to possibly the bottom. And the first solid character that you see, that's going to be what's actually printed. And at every level, it also checks and makes sure it's active. The first active solid character, that's what will get printed. That's what should be on the screen. And it should also respect, so like propagate the change flag. So if it has not changed, then that should be reflected, so it doesn't have to print that, so we're not printing the terminal more than necessary. But also, I guess, for this one, the actual, I guess that's not the bottom layer. So for this one, when you merge together all the regions, it would be printing like this weird blob area. So it would probably start at this one here, and then it would look down for the first solid active character. So that's for single column characters. Now I want mine to work with multi-column characters. So that's the thing that is buggy. And for that, my actual algorithm, if I look at my screen layer class, I have this function here, calculate occlusions. I think that's probably the right word to use. So it's kind of crazy, and I'm pretty sure there's at least some bugs in this. But it's an algorithm that from left to right, and then one from right to left, and it does that to figure out which character read forward. I can iterate through the array, and I'm pretty sure this should, with some slight modifications, I think this should work for. If they're the same, that means whatever character's there, that's the correct one. But if only one of them, the right word or left word, found an active layer to associate with that position, then that means that the character has been included by a multi-column character and a higher layer. And the algorithm I'm going to use is to put a space. And then I think these don't happen, but I just put them anyway. And then I'm also optionally calculating the change. So there's actually quite a bit going on, which is, I guess, why the test cases make sense. It's weird because the job I got actually represents the big three among a bunch of other internet providers. Super strange. Sort of feels like a conflict of interest. Represents the big three among a bunch of other internet providers. I guess I don't understand the conflict of interest part. All right. Do you ever code to explode? I don't know what that means. Code to explode. Is that the name of some software product or something? Company gets commissions for sales, but also doing the same for other ISPs. Okay. I don't know, maybe some kind of agreements between them or something. I think tech companies are all kind of a monopoly, or like telecommunications companies are. Like usually do engage in price fixing behavior and stuff like that. So who knows what's going on? Awesome. So for example, help menu is a hidden layer, active at all times, and only shown if user wants to see the help menu. Yes. So when you tap the escape key, that should just change. It'll set. It just sends like a flips the Boolean on whether that layer is active, and then that sends a message to the console writer thread saying that the menu that layer is now active, and it also it accompanies a change region, which is just the region just says from 0, 0 to the whole UI, reevaluate everything there, and so then it just redoes. It'll compute the difference. It just goes through every single cell, computes the difference, and wherever the UI has changed, that is the area that it'll print. That's the idea, but it was working. Well, if you look at the latest like release version, that's the way it works. Right now it's kind of broken. I don't know what it means either. Sounds cool though. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought. It does sound like a catchphrase, like something you'd see on a billboard somewhere. I guess it'd be more catchy if it meant something meaningful. Is that Helix or in Vim? This is just regular Vim. What coding software do you recommend to new people who want to start making games? So I'm actually the wrong person to ask that question, because technically I'm not a game developer at all, and I do not and have never used really any of these tools. I know of PY Game. I think you can use that for building simple game concepts in Python. Although again, I've never used it. Godot, I think that's how you say that. Godot. Yeah, someone just mentioned that. That's, I think, an open source one. And then I guess there's Unity, which you can do some pretty interesting stuff in. I think it's paid though, and it's a lot more proprietary. But I think you can get more out of it. And then I guess there's, what is it, Unreal Engine? I don't even know if that's like a game maker software or just like for graphics or something. But I guess, yeah, you can look up those things. Google search for make a game in PY Game, make a game in Godot, make a game in Unity, and then that'll give you some material to research. E says, Mr. Robert, how's it going? Activate your Wayment, Robert. It's been long enough. How? Nice. We got another super chat from Brown Paper Bag. Since $10. Code to explode. I'm putting it on a billboard. That's going to be expensive, but it might be worth it. We have several game devs in our server. Oh yeah, actually, so if you go to my channel, so oh wow, you've got 36 concurrents here. For the person who asked about games, yeah, there's a couple of game devs there. If you go to my channel, you can join my Discord, which has a reference to like the Discord that's active, yeah. So on my channel page, there's a link to there's a link to my Discord, the official my Discord. Now the link is deliberately broken. The last character of the link is a Z character. If you delete that, you'll get to the actual server. That's just to keep bots out and stuff. So, Bradley, member for 15 months. This is not a super chat. Wow, 15 months. Time flies. Explode or explore? Explored. On a scale of 1 to 10, how worried are you of AI taking enough jobs to leave many Americans homeless? Any remedies you can think of that may counter this? Did you watch my my most recent video about what should I do with my life. In that video, I talked a bit more about that question about like the future of jobs and stuff. So that is more of my thoughts, but I'm not worried about AI taking the jobs. What I would be more worried about is like people in power using AI and the massive changes as an excuse to like take away more rights and basically like using it as a wedge between people and the value of their labor. Because one of the big issues with all these AI models is technically they're all, to host them, they're in the cloud. So your ability to like control what you get. Like in the past, if you worked in a farm, technology made you more productive because you bought a tractor, and then you own the tractor. You still get to keep everything you harvest. But now with AI, if you're using like Photoshop or something, Photoshop can just like steal all your artwork automatically and like say, oh, we have a license to train on this. And then, so you're basically, you're doing all this labor to train an AI to replace you. So I think there's significant questions about copyright in the future. Honestly, I think we probably could still have some semblance of copyright, but I think it's going to be challenged. Or else they're all going to come in and say, we have to like reinvent the economy. We have to like do away with copyright law and us, the venture capitalists, to steal everything. And I'm sure that they'll try. I think we should all pray to Waymond on 3. I don't know what that is. Has anyone figured out some interpretation of Waymond that makes sense? I saw a few memes on TikTok, but maybe it's just some esoteric thing that this individual has come up with. I thought it was probably some cryptocurrency or something, but Bradley sends $2. Now this is a super chat. Thank you very much. That is indeed a super chat. We're up to $22 now. AI enables developers to do 5-6 person work at once, thus taking those 6-7 people's jobs. Yeah, actually I was thinking about how to articulate like what AI does for software development last night. And I think I actually I came up with a kind of decent way to articulate it. And it's like, if you go back to the 1960s or something, if you talked about writing software, the act of writing software, there was only like one operation you could do to a piece of software. That was like change a line of code or something, and maybe like compile it and a couple other things. But as time has gone by, it's almost like the work that consists of being a software developer has kind of branched out into a tree where, like, even pre-AI, you could, like, writing code, that's one operation, then doing like automatically generating getters and setters, that's another operation, linting your code, that's another operation, like then refactoring, that's another operation, like writing unit tests, that's another kind of operation. And as you go down, there's like to become more efficient, we basically just branch out each of those tasks into like separate kind of subtasks. And so now the tree of like stuff you do to write code, it's very wide. There's like many individual independent tasks. And I think AI will completely automate certain branches of that tree, but then there's other branches where it does almost nothing. People keep asking me about AI, software development, and I looked at it. I tested out Copilot on GitHub and asked it about like one of the things I'm working on right now. Completely, it's like it's not that it speeds up; it like almost replaces the human part of those tasks. But then there's other, like if you had a time chart of like the time you spend on certain things, there's certain subsets where you absolutely need a human in the loop. Have you had any interest in developing 3D slicers, multi-axis CAM algorithms? I'm interested, but I don't have any idea where to start. That stuff's interesting, but I haven't had any time to think about that stuff. 3D slicers, multi-axis. I have played around with the robotics a little bit, but I guess you could just Google like open source servo robot, like Arduino robotics type stuff, and then maybe just get started with some hardware projects, some basic hardware projects. You can buy a lot of cheap stuff on eBay. I have a bunch of stepper motors and cheap Arduinos that I have. I'd like to play with them if I had more time. Does anyone know what this is? This is terminal-based video game development, or at least writing some test cases and getting distracted by chat. I think your stream is having lag issues for some reason. Maybe I'm kind of just I'm just getting behind in chat. Is this world domination thing a bit, or do we all go all? But we'll see how far I can get. Game Dev Chat says good evening. How's it going? LMFAO, them feels bro. I'm not sure which feels you're referring to. What is bro doing? Bro is writing some test cases for a terminal-based video game. This is for real? Yep, it's for real. Billions of dollars in super chat. It's a little far-fetched. None of you believe in yourself. Didn't they teach you about the power of believing yourself in kindergarten? Just AI making mistakes feels bro. I see. Not even top streamers make that? Yeah, that's because they didn't believe in themselves. If you can't believe, real if you can't believe, you can't achieve it. From my experience, I found the best use case for AI in coding is for writing really simple projects, or functions and code reviews. Yeah, I have yet to sit down and do an extensive test of it, but I have a few other things I want to get caught up on first. There's a bunch of times when I ask it to do stuff, and then it'll be like, certainly this can be done. You just have to step 1, get started. Step 2, do more of the thing. And it's kind of, it really seems like it would be very good for a noob who really doesn't know how to approach the problem. What IDE code editor are you using? I'm using Vim. I made a simpler version of your game in C++ when I was starting. Excellent. How to not be a noob? Experience is the main thing. Just gotta grind away. What game is this one? Looks kind of complicated. Yeah, people say that I overcomplicate things, which is possibly correct, but I'm trying to make it fairly general. And this is actually some test case stuff. This is kind of just like a brute force, simple way of like calculating what I expect to come back in for as a result of layer merging. All right, this should Sandy Stovall says hello. How's it going? I use Copilot for completing a code line or block here and there. That's most of my use case for it. I'm quite happy with it. Yeah, I'll get around to integrating it into my workflow one of these days. That's a very presumptive question, Andre. Lil Ugly Kemp says, yeah. Best work to do. You don't have to work for someone else. Yeah, I mean, the dream is to, do your own thing and be able to actually, bring something new into the world. Sup, Mark Wahlberg. I don't know who that is. Is he related? Is any relation to Mark Zuckerberg? When you take over the world, can you give me free stuff? Like, just let me chill for the rest of my life? Yeah. Probably. Once I can make the economy run super efficiently. World domination is game. Actually, not quite. If you check, I have a video on my channel called "My Plans for World Domination," so that has my specific plans. Man says, sup. How's it going? Whipping an old file server, turning it into JetBrains gateway tonight. Hashtag Domination. Excellent work. So let's use my super fancy test case. I'll just reduce. So the sizes of things to simplify it. This might work. See if that'll give me any failures. All right. Pound must be positive. Is zero a positive number? Yes. That's weird. I got an exception. So I've got max num layers is 1. So max num layers, 1 minus 1 equals 0. But it's giving me an exception on that function. in random.nextInt. Bound must be positive. I'll just put a special case for it. All right, I have a minimal test case that fails. Oh, this does not have any change region. Oh, the active state is nothing. So the active state is coming back wrong. That is very strange. I would expect it true, but it saw false. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, that makes sense, because if it's not in a changed region, it's not supposed to do anything. So it's supposed to be unchanged. Zero is a 2's complement integer. Integer isn't usually described as either positive or negative. I have to look up my number theory. I'm sure this is got to be like very precisely defined on like a number theory page. 2's complement, that's like a more of a computer sciencey thing. But I assume in the field of like, what was it, like counting algebra and real analysis and stuff, there's got to be a precise definition someone made about whether it's considered positive or not. It seems to me that this may be like, there are certain domains where it's considered positive or not. It's kind of like modulo. There's like two different definitions for negative modulo. which is actually kind of crazy when you think about it. It's such an important thing, but it breaks all your code. Okay, I think that fixed this. All right, we get some more failures. So this character is null. Catnap09 says, hello, I'm looking for a YouTuber. A YouTuber who says I can draw it. Draw what? Mega Destroyer 3000 says king. Who's king? The little heart emoji in the YouTube chat is in the worst spot. Yeah, I remember before the UI, it used to overlap the chat. Such a weird design, and there was no way for me to fix it. I'm not sure if it shows there for you. Like at least in the UI that I see, it's not too bad. I love your how to make a CPU video. Excellent. That's my most popular video. It has like 13 million views now. So that's good. That means a lot of people know how to make a CPU now. Looking forward to day 100. Yeah, we're close. Only one more day. On day 100, for sure, someone will donate 12 to 13 USD billion. Well, like 16, 17 to cover the YT tax. Yeah, I think it'll happen. Do you get hate mail from TSMC now? And they have 13 million competitors. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if they're not happy. But then again, it's also free advertising for them. Yeah, that'd be interesting. There's probably, I'm sure there's at least a few people who work for TSMC who have watched that video. All right. So that is not null. Does this make sense? Why am I iterating over this? At a certain point, Elon Musk will see that video. I think he will donate. Because that's what he and his friends are trying to create. Actually, Elon Musk has seen that video because I know that because someone stole it and uploaded it to Twitter, and it got like millions of views, and Elon Musk commented on that video. Icon tried to do something like in Africa, but failed. Icon, I mean Elon or AKO1, not sure Who referring to? Is that someone in chat or? Gibbler Moreno says, "Heyo, how's it going?" Akon, the singer, he is trying to create Akon City in Africa. Oh, okay. Akon. Yeah, I saw that and I was like, does they mean that like? I thought it was like a band or something, or I don't know. I don't. Now you say he's a singer. I recognize that, but I assumed you were referring to something else, or maybe misspelled Elon. All right, I think my test case doesn't make any sense. That must be a mistake from that I copied and pasted from up here. What is this? This is software development of me adding some test cases for my terminal-based video game. Have a good one all. Heading out. Have a good night. Akon's futuristic $6 billion city project in Senegal abandoned. Oh, is that I think I saw some image of it was like someone was building some crazy futuristic city in Africa or something, and it was just like this. There's this one abandoned building with like a kind of weird shape to it. Yeah, I saw it. I didn't. I don't remember where I saw it. It was just some. It was in some like meta clip making fun of it. I didn't even know what it was. Looks like a wooden version of the bean from Chicago. Yeah, it's kind of funny how everyone's always making these grandiose building projects, and they always get money for them and they never build them. But me, when I get my $12 billion, you can bet that I'm going to build that port. yeah, if you once you have the port, then you can bring stuff in for cheap. Hopefully you will not be a bad dictator. I will never be evil, I promise. Also well-made calzones. Yeah, someone they can't just be all full of dough. They need good toppings in them, and also no mushrooms. Did that remove my bug? Nope. Interesting. So it only happens with 3 layers. Can someone explain to me what this guy is fundraising for? I'm a junior in CS and don't understand a thing. I have a video on my channel called my plans for world domination. It's like 3 or 4 videos ago, and in that video I have my plan, describe in detail my world domination plans. Catface sends $2. Robert is the Bob Ross of programming. Thank you. That's a very endearing statement. Actually, it seems to me I think I've seen some other people who have been called the Bob Ross of programming. Alright, so this is not null. Interesting. Layers.length is but the layers is supposed to be okay. Alright, so that is not null. Interesting. Okay, so that makes sense. Because that is the current coordinate. In the current layer. No Rust. Best government-backed software. It's too much work to learn Rust. Oracle is behind Java. I'm pretty sure Oracle has got some government connections. Kotlin is simply better. Maybe. It's too much work. I don't want to learn new languages. I just want to write code in the language that I know. So my issue is that I'm passing in current coordinate here, but the current coordinate is relative to the current layer. So I've got to resolve the this here is problematic because that can be random now. I'm going to be here on day 100. We're close. It's tomorrow. can't be here tomorrow. Weekends. So here's today. 100 wave in advance. Thank you. Are you going to have 100 glasses tomorrow? Like on New Year's, when people wear 2025 shaped glasses? I'll probably just do like every day. The goal of the stream is to get some work done, and also generate chat revenue, and advertise my videos to bring people into the world of command line and Linux. All right, so my fundamental problem is current coordinate is not necessarily consistent between layers, which is intentional because they can have different internal dimensions. So this here code is correct, I think. Instructions on unclear on the CPU. Accidentally made GBU bomb. That's not good. A GBU. Even a GPU. You gotta be careful. Gotta make sure you control the chemicals in your photolithography step, and that the photoresist too. That those are hazardous chemicals, so you gotta be careful. Make sure you do it in a fume hood. Must have used the wrong lithographic plate. Yeah, I think the main issue is, in order for a chemical to be like photoreactive, to do the photoresist, it's got to be chemically active, which means it's going to be a bit dangerous and be flammable and stuff. This might work. Look at that, it just works absolutely perfectly. Excellent. So it looks like it's bugged. That must be from this. There we go. Okay, that works. Now, let's make it larger again. So max layers up to 5. Do 20. 10 by 10. Just works. Calm down, Todd. I don't know, is there a reference there? I don't know, but all right, we get another error. Interesting. So the bug does not happen. with small layers. Now does it happen with less layers? Bethesda is infamous for releasing games with bugs in it, and Todd Howard is the main manager for some of the more recent releases. Oh, okay. Oh, I'm totally out of the loop on the game dev drama, or like a game industry drama. Okay, so I need at least 3 layers to trigger the bug. More of a meme. I guess I don't I haven't really played video games in years. Interesting. So I need at least 2 change regions. 2 change regions, 3 layers. Todd's games are super unclean. I remember watching my cousin play one of his games. He gets stuck in a patch of rocks. Well, that won't happen in my game. That's why I'm spending all this time writing test cases and meticulously making sure every pixel will be perfect. All right, 1240 is my problem seed. Do that, so we're only looking at the problematic seed. Okay, so it's saying that it expected an object is true. 902. So that's the change state is wrong. So it's saying the change state, it expected it to be true, but it was false. Add to 2 minus 5. Actually, I'm gonna have to have something to make that obvious. Better than Todd. Todd would just ship it and deal with it later. Technically, I mean, you could argue that I'm worse though, because if you spend the time to make something work, you're not getting revenue But if I just if I sell something that's garbage, then I'll get a pile of money. And there's a cost-benefit analysis of making it good enough to get money. I don't know. I think I'll get to this in the next milestone where it's really nice and solid, and then I think it doesn't make sense to really kind of really push it and advertise it now, or like to try and get people to play it unless it's like super smooth, because people almost certainly just play it once and then quit if it's an unpleasant experience. Robert, how did you stop playing games permanently? I wouldn't say I've stopped playing it permanently. I just have I'm busier doing other things. I guess once you get into the habit of working, you can get kind of working becomes a game. Ship the bug fun version first, as the revenue starts. I have a version out there, so it's yeah, I was thinking about actually like when I push to try and get revenue is like basically selling sponsored block types for like super chats, just because a super chat is like, even though they take 30%, it's just it's such an easy thing. But I was thinking one, and I haven't been able to find a super clear thing reference anywhere. I don't know if anyone of you even know this, but I don't know if there's a rule against like offering like rewards in exchange for super chats. That might be some kind of like, I'm sure if you say, if it's especially maybe physical rewards, like if you say, hey, I'll give you a t-shirt if you give me a super chat or something, I think that might violate some term, but it's not super clear in the terms of service. I think selling sponsored block types would be a pretty like just low friction thing. In-game chat that's integrated into the stream would be sick. It's possible. I don't think I'd implement chat anytime soon. Most I did was 6 months while aggressively grinding college. 4 DLC packs, 8 remastered editions. Yeah, for commercial games, you also need a lot of, it's a lot of work to make games. You need a lot of developer time. You need a lot of like young people who you can manipulate into working hard. Okay. So it's saying so top layer is not active. Oh, maybe I'm not. Okay. It's gonna change region. Oh, that makes sense. It's gotta be top. Go to sleep and find a decent job. Go to sleep and find a decent job. BR here. ASMR Electronicos. Well, have a good night. I hope you are able to get to sleep and find your decent job. I'm not sure what BR here stands for though. So I'm not checking if it's active or not. Should get some rest and look for a decent job. I have a job. Oh, Brazil? That makes sense. Aim to Brincando. Not sure what you're trying to say. Good morning. How's it going? Sim to Brincado seems like I'm kidding. According to Google Translate. Sorry, this is Brazilian slang. Okay. I'm not, my knowledge of Brazilian slang is not very good. Actually, the only Brazilian funk music is very good. That's the only Brazilian culture that I know of. So this might fix the bug, I think. So I want to return the topmost character. That has an active layer. So Robert, have you seen the 1985 movie Brazil? I've not. Tea Time with Robert has a nice ring to it. Is that the name of a movie? Tea Time with Robert? Now let's see if that fixed it. Nope. Thought it could be another kind of YT short series. So Robert surfing the T app. Yeah, that's the first thing I thought about. That app where they breached it and leaked everyone's IDs. Here in Brazil, if my mom or dad sees me on the computer, they tell me to go get a proper job. Okay. Is that like a general meme in Brazil? My most recent video is about getting jobs. So for coordinate, zero, 1907. Okay, so the change flag. Change flag is wrong. So I expected to see true, but it's off false. So I think they should go first character that has an active state. Oh, interesting. This might not be a bug in the test case. Trust change flags equals false. Okay. So that would be correct. Because it has not changed. Pretty sure I'm a 9-to-5er for life. At least I know now. Yeah, it's I mean, you can have a basic life, 9 to 5. How much have we made so far? It's probably I need to go back and add it up. It's probably a bit over $2,000 or so in super chats throughout this entire series. If you work for me, you could be a 5-to-5er. No thanks. So that looks correct. And I think it's wrong to expect true. So trust change flags was false. What's the language? This is Java. Most people start a business and get trapped at 75K USD. I've still got a way to go even before I get to that point. All right, let's figure out why that's not doing what it's supposed to. Let me think. Oh, I don't have a breakpoint. I do, but it moved. It's time for a walk and a nap. Have a good night. Thanks for the super chat. All right, so the bottom character has changed equal true. Is that correct? Yes. false. That's what I expect. Oh, is my order backwards? That might be the issue. Nope, changed this, the last one. Or my checks backwards. All right, bottom layer, that's where the calculated result is. And in my verify object, okay. So that's at x0, y0. But I've already gone past that. So where is my bug? Okay, it's in layer 1. Gustavo Pacheco. How are you doing, sir? I'm doing pretty good. How are you? So I guess this will have to be modified. This doesn't make sense because it's iterating over all layers and it's only verifying for the bottom layer. It should check all of them. That doesn't make sense. I'll have to fix that. Good as well. Are you working on your terminal game? Yes, I'm currently working on some test cases. So I've been, I decided to write just a way more robust layer merging thing, and to facilitate that, I wrote some like simple visuals to make some like fake like test layers to just fuzz test it. So that this first column here that represents the layer, then the resulting merged layers down here. And this is to help me visualize active states. So you can activate given pixels or deactivate them, and then the change states, and then also the this visualizes the regions. So that way I can the changed regions give me a way of just specifying a subset of the layer to iterate over, so I don't have to, if I change a small subset of the screen, I don't need to iterate over the whole thing. Anyway, I'm just going through trying to get the bugs in the test case fixed, and then eventually work up to actually fixing the bugs in the main algorithm. But I think I'll probably leave it there for tonight. Made a little bit of progress. Yeah, I guess I'll pick it up again tomorrow for day 100. All right, talk to you guys later. See you tomorrow.